Bendigo Tabachimaki Shin Ting the Dembaji Jisung Show says Molam Jache and Jisung Wayne Sosorangi Yamne Yapoche Madonna Dine and Tigo Martinenza Susugi and Tado Janjusema Tado Mui Janjusema Lama Cheva Demba Nashi Jerangi Yan Ludan Lonche Chaza Gitonian None Ya and Chigala never Chiadang and Tabachimichi Yamne Chiela Bishetana and Bishetang to Show said Molam Jawore that equal she that Sambana Jai on the Tabachimiki in the singing the temperature, the negative Yaman chair or shows at the name Yaman Chibi Gabla, so Sukulu launch Chazan, ya and Tabachimichi Yamanachi, Donald Diada, and the Lama never change Yamanachi to a show said, Dinayana Yando, Simlia, and the Dushin Jango, said Tico Shero.
Good afternoon. So this morning we looked we started to look at the presentation on a spiritual friend. So firstly, having generated the aspiration to enter the paths of the Mahayana Dharma, progressing to attain the state of enlightenment for the sake of all beings, one generates to meet a spiritual friend, a teacher who can guide one in the cultivation of the minds of the Mahayana Dharma. A teacher who's fully qualified in the ways that we saw this morning, to be able to lead us skillfully in the cultivation of the very minds of the Mahayana Dharma that lead to the ripening effect of the attainment of enlightenment. So one gives rise to this aspiration to meet such a teacher, and having met such a teacher, then the next verse we looked at was how to rely well on the teacher, how to ensure that we take the essence of the opportunity, or rather we make the most of this opportunity that we've aspired to achieve. Now having achieved it, how to utilize it as well as possible. So one should generate the aspiration repeatedly to meet such a teacher, having met such a teacher, to continue to cultivate the aspiration to utilize what remains of this life in the most beneficial of ways, through relying on one's spiritual friend in the most appropriate of ways. Negazam Julia, Odanga Takwachim, Jensen Betadu, Yamna Chevana, Chicken Samje, Dene, Sosuke, or Datige, Shatige, Zoya, Denesi, Kambala, Cheche, Dene, Zon, never social, didn't Cheshire, Cobra, Samara, Denigi, Cheshire, Rasamarua, Dene, Kambala, Cheva, and they didn't have a Chimengana, Nidi or Mother Cheshire, or Rangmar. The example to follow was presented this morning as Sadhu Parudita, and we heard how a bodhisattva always crying. He gave rise to this aspiration to meet a teacher, and then having met many teachers, but wanting to meet the teacher that he had the strongest of karmic connections with, this uncommon relationship with, he cut off flesh and even limbs to sell this in order to achieve the teacher, meet his teacher. So this was presented as the example to emulate. So hearing this, then one may think, so this is the example I'm meant to emulate. So am I then supposed to empty out my bank account and take all my savings and whatever possessions I have, sell them, accumulate a huge, take all this money then and offer it to my teacher? Is that what I'm being encouraged to do? Well, if one were to do so, then one would be homeless, one would be possessionless, and one would have nothing material to fall back on. And so certainly, having made these offerings with a good intention, one would have accrued a lot of merit. But then all that one will have left with is one's body. So perhaps then, like Sadhuparita, then one must go to a country where one can sell one's organs, and or if you have long hair, cut that and sell one's hair. So is this what I'm expected to do? If one were to do so, then one would end up impoverished, sleeping on the road, probably end up in hospital. This is not going to enable one to practice effectively. This certainly would not be skillful. So one should certainly not be following so literally, following this example so literally.
진짜 최시야 거라고 말하서는 사야동야다 류초고 류마서나 최시 두고 말에 냠내지 두고 말에 사야동 요고래 아주 튕긴 고고래 그래서 안에 매소수기 수보다 샤다如果다 자제 종제변에 내가 차제 안에 아주 민간나 저주 최시야데 샘나데 최파소셔데 알아서 계획 지부동안용 되고로 되네서 제세디 안쪽에 용하게 걸미도하대.
So this certainly is something that even if we thought we were supposed to emulate, we couldn't emulate, because if one were to actually do this, then we would not, our practice would face a severe obstacle in that we wouldn't be able to sustain our body through nutritious food because we'd be impoverished. We wouldn't have suitable, comfortable living conditions which we require. And moreover, our health would be severely harmed. So if one were to follow that illustration literally, not only would it not enable our practice to flourish, the opposite would occur. It would be an obstacle to being able to cultivate the minds of the Dharma. If someone were to take this illustration that we are said to emulate, to take this literally, then they really would not be using their intelligence, because to do so for us would to do so for us would be clearly contrary to the verses that we heard yesterday. Because yesterday and the previous day we heard of amongst the various rebirths, the very best is that of a precious human rebirth. And so therefore we should make aspirational prayers to achieve a precious human rebirth, accumulate the causes to achieve so. And then having done so, achieved a human rebirth marked by the 18 freedoms and opportunities, then we should aspire to have the most conducive conditions within a precious human rebirth, namely that of an ordained person. And having achieved the state of an ordained person, the aspirations continue that having achieved ordination, that I have all favorable conditions to enable my spiritual development. And those favorable conditions are nutritious food, good health, comfortable living, comfortable accommodation. So if one were then to follow this example literally, that would be completely opposite to everything that we've been hearing to this point. So that certainly then is not to be taken literally.
가상 먼저 셔야지 디르와 데네자 디린 다디 디린 셔야데 전주스메 따동위 죄념네 제바나징아 태바침에 최제할 류롱죄 차상제 라마야 라마녀바 제바다 태바침에 최 념는 제바라 베셔땅 투벌쇼스 몰람 자고레스 손레모도 디람상 라렌다 고레스 거 말 다디데 몰람 자고레스 거와 당한서 섬려야 두 몰람 겹체 셈 나올라야 니디네 지기 세비 장도를 지고레스 거 다당한서 장도를 지고레 셈 나올라 장도를 지야마도 무슨 라렌 다투 말에 한서 라과 제다 강바 제 한두 베셔 다디셔지 아주 차상 바제샤셰네 후이샤제 타바침에 최념네 지기레 제투그레베스 다당한서 디제 투에 강한서 뉴벌 마선 레요 말에 제상한서 말레와자 이내한서 레요 말데가 디 니버도 양해 돈달라 다당한서 삼는 나올라 장도를 지고래 장도를 맞제나 안에 게디나레 투에요 말에 제상 게디나레 장도를 지야디 제상 전주심비다동 류롱제 차상 라마를 푸 라마녀바를 제 태바침에 최제발을 베제당 류류 차상 베제당을 디난시냐 네이나야 라마데니기 태바침에 기회신 생인 된바지 니 데네니어도 류롱제 가르 차상 안에 베제당제 아니 현래 디유주야 현래 베제당하다 라마녀바를 제야다 라마를 푸야다 다 건조 라마 랑게 라마도 건조를 푸야 현래 짐바당도 데니기 지투어쇼 선비기 몰람 잡 셈나올라 양이 되네 지긴 선배게 양네 양도 되니기 삼다 장도를 제고를 해서 다 된다래.
So as we've been hearing in terms of the qualities of the mind of enlightenment, cultivating such an outlook should be making the mind broad and expansive. And this then we need to apply with our wisdom to the teachings that we hear and understand the meaning within the teachings and know when a teaching is to be taken literally and when not. So if one were to misunderstand the illustration that's been given, one may think, to practice like a bodhisattva, to become the being that I want to become, then I need to give away all my possessions, I need to mutilate my body. This is hardly the practicing the Mahayana Dharma. So then, what is the meaning behind this illustration? How are we supposed to understand it? So we should take the way that this bodhisattva actually practiced, and we should think of the reasons why he did so, and we use this to generate aspiration within us. So we started out first having given rise to the aspiration to cultivate the path of the Mahayana Dharma, in other words, to become enlightened for the sake of others. And with this sincere wish, seeking out a teacher who can lead us, who can guide us in cultivating these minds actually and developing them to the level of perfection, the attainment of enlightenment. And with such a sincere aspiration, then our way of thinking changes. What we value, what we see as important, changes. Or another way to express this, our purpose of our life changes, the meaning of our life changes. And this means the way that we value our body, or the purpose that we see for having this body, this life, this changes. The purpose, or the beneficial purpose behind all our material resources, this changes. So here, when we hear an illustration such as we heard this morning, we utilize this to generate the aspiration to give rise to bodhicitta and rely on a teacher who can actualize, can train us to actualize bodhicitta, the real bodhicitta within ourselves, and become Buddhas. And to do so, I dedicate my life, I dedicate my body, I utilize my resources in the most skillful of ways to achieve this. So what we're doing here is we're using this illustration to generate inspiration, to broaden our way of thinking, to see the purpose of our life and all the enjoyments of our life in a very different way, in a far more expansive way.
Lama never say, Lama le so ya Dang to so Kangame Society, Yovachi, Nyache, and so the social Kangamati Toneda, Lamalia, the Puya Yovada, Rovada, that's also little son Diag, Dangi Shibarachi Yovache, then and the dear Dangu and the Lamali Nebache, Lamopuya, and the young Conchalia Chopuya, she and the Nyamna Tigela Robocha, the Gidi, and also Lalenta. That's some Naolia, Chasang Pugin, Chasang Jin, the Mount, the Casang in the Tetu, but Jigin Sebe, some of the Jangi, also Lalenta do, and call Kang Yobadi, so Kang Tutupia, and draw Jig, Tapachimichu, Yamlancha, Tayatang, the Negation, Lamania Chair, the Nation of Mother, Chasang Zamoshana, Sosugi, Church about the Pashi, Kerchago, the Yamlandi, Tataro, Chicago Mara.
The meaning of what we're hearing here then is that we take illustrations as an aspiration. May I too become like this. May my wish to be of greatest benefit to all sentient beings arise within me in such a powerful and sustained way that my priorities completely change and that I direct my entire energy, the energy of my life, of my body, of my resources, all to being of greatest benefit to others. And that's the aspiration we cultivate, to, like the Bodhisattva always crying, to live our lives entirely for the benefit of others, to dedicate our body, our life, our resources to others. And then to create the causes to bring about this mental development, what we do have in abundance, what we do have in abundance, this we can use to make offerings to our teachers, to the three jewels, to those in need. But this is what we have in abundance. We use to cultivate the causes to aid our spiritual development to be of benefit to others. But we need to use our wisdom and ensure that we don't end up either without what we need or with a resentful mind. So therefore, we use our wisdom. We practice where we are, but aspiring to become something extraordinary.
Chuchenbu, Chembu, Yobache, Danhans didn't buy Chudi, Dinin, Ma, Pashal Pado, or Drode, me, J. Capture, Gay, Washington Party, Japan Pardugorwa, Pardugorwa. Cezanne, the gay single, my mission, or the Conti Gay Yapto, or Dina, Shador, said Dina Chuna, Chomwa Chevana, Gay Javachena, Chuki here, Mother, Penile to Marva. Cezanne, and then Conti Gay Yaptodus, Cezanne, hey, Cheman. The Drusin that in a draw on a delia large tail to dig rather Drusin and draw on a milia larger train draw. Just a large demo, gay up drawn a wood, consecrate your drawn. Jaya didn't draw to be jiggins be sometime. Once gay the Denima Mado Niel and a Jandor Chorwa. Jandor Yago Charson, then a chum jay, and go the Haraki, your consonation to draw shoulder, penny later. Jambon or consecrate your draw to dinner, go bear wood and hand dinner chickens in my chum judge and Jandor Mevans and the Shia Yangachimo. Dinner, now the Chinese Batatu with the Yamnish, I may tabach machine dinner chicken labna, Manzula Jandor yo mare, that is Jandor made the dinner chavana, Manzula Yonra Amato Pando, Yonra Chimbo. Just a dinner and the Denigi Chinese Matadu, we Lamatimba Nashing here, Jigi, J2 shows, Molam Jad, then the chickens and be some Jandor Chia, that another Jandor Chi, Jamato. That J2 again is a Leo Maro, Melivaza, 디체기어 말해서 그래.
If we hear about someone else's deeds that are inspiring and we want to emulate these, we have to use our wisdom. So let's say there's a beautiful lake and we hear on the far side of the lake is a magnificent land and we want to go there in the same way as someone else has. We hear of someone who swam across this vast lake and we imagine that they're enjoying this wondrous land on the other side. And we have the wish to do the same. So strong emotion arises within us, but without using our wisdom, if we were to jump in the lake, not knowing how to swim, it's not going to end up well. So we need to rely on wisdom. We need to rely on wisdom. And so as people now aspiring to become bodhisattvas and cross to the far shore and attain enlightenment, we need to use our wisdom and be aware of who we are and what our skills are. Moreover, we need to then see what skills we need to develop. So if it's the person who's wanting to cross this lake, then they use their wisdom and they think of the various options. One option is they know this lake can be swum. So an option is to learn how to swim, and not just learn how to swim, but to learn how to swim a great distance. So that is an option. Another option would be to work and save some money and hire a boat, and then sail across the lake. A third option would be to develop the mind and develop psychic powers and then jump across the lake. So there are these options. Use one's wisdom, one sees what can be done. And then one can embark on the training and achieve the result. So this is the same situation for ourselves. We've given rise to an aspiration to enter the paths of a bodhisattva, to be counted amongst the children of the Buddhas. But we aren't there yet. So we have to use our wisdom, practice in accordance with our ability.
Lama do Semchen draw to you can and Jevene Nazatayo Mare and the Ludi Chevajaur Yang Lamsa, Yang Harja, Lamsa Jung, Juyong, Lusaba Juyong, Anzuke, Shije, and you are Yalan Dinekayo, Mevanda, changes Simba Papa to go Tosona, that Lu Peshetan to Ore, Luchimba Yore, and they shall to Gang Josh and they are too strong, then Peshetan, draw to again, they are dead Chimbatada. Dine tang tuwa lulu jo shisa dine jesu me papa ko thomna she to be to tungi le kanga yo makana ko zhu bari yong bari chesa dine yenza jesu me ta dong dine gi mi to be nyam to de ba ni ro dine yi da pu je tu bo ba chesa san yu jemne di song ya le jesu me cholam ba de cholam ba de ki jesu me shan de le shuk chi mo shu yo za lu jin ba da ge nya yo ba de lu jin ba da ba lu je sha ba na za da nga na je na za de nyam le che ya ko khol ba she yo chesa
Another meaning behind this teaching is that one can acknowledge that us as very ordinary beings, we are not likely to be so silly as to actually cut off our limbs and offer these to perhaps hungry animals. That would be a little crazy. But when a being actually arises as a bodhisattva and has genuine bodhicitta within their continuum, they are guided by this wish to be of greatest benefit to others. And with this powerful mind, they may actually engage in such an activity. However, the advice here for them is not to do so, even if they are a bodhisattva. So then, who are the beings who should be giving their bodies? In the way that we hear in this illustration, or in other stories we hear of beings giving, in fact, their entire body, giving their life to animals that are hungry. So those beings are the Arya Bodhisattvas. Those bodhisattvas who have come to realize emptiness directly and have attained the paths of seeing or meditation. They have control over their rebirths. They have control over their bodies. They can give away their entire body, their life, or parts of their body, and suffer no harm, and not and attain ongoing rebirths, good rebirth, through the power of their realizations. Ordinary bodhisattvas, bodhisattvas who are on the paths of accumulation and preparation, those who are still accumulating the virtue, as the merit, so as to be able to directly realize emptiness, even they are told not to offer their body, or even their body parts. So if this is the case for those bodhisattvas who haven't gained control over their bodies and their rebirths, then it's very clear this is the case for ordinary beings like ourselves. Rather, what we need to do is the same as those ordinary bodhisattvas. Continue to generate minds of love and compassion and wisdom until we become Arya beings. Then we will be able to offer our body to those who are hungry, offer our body, sell parts of our body so as to gain resources to offer to our teachers. But until then, this is not a practice we can actually engage in, but only give rise to in aspiration.
Bendigo da bu lo ge song de bu chung chung de a me ge yong de ne ji san ge yong de ka bla sab sab shu je nya wu bo ba dang ne de le ji sab sab ma yan ko xi xue xue da gang a ti be ni xi nian a qing bo ba ji san bu ge yong de ne pa be sab sab shu je nya nya da ni ya ji de ne ya ji o de che che de ne nian ma ji sab sab je ba na xin je wu ma ba de ne ya ji de ne ko ya qing bu che ko lo che de ji ne lang ji ne lo ni xu 니주 자랑 레서도 얘네 그 그런 그 뉴쇼 차상에 그 잡자죠 그런 되는 아주 제모 책인데 이 목선 책인지 아주를 당 소시 얘네 바지우 제도도 차고 유자서 와 진짜 많이 충충갑이야 잡섭시우 맞으면 출라데 내가 심으시오로 와 디나시로 와 당한 저 전슈심 냠는 집에 태바치면 취 냠는 집도 다당한도 레 당보와 레 당보 걸리 냠는 집 잡섭시우 전에 아니 냠는 지야다. 되는 냠는 지대 장주 셈지 개버 이내야 대리야 빼 기에 쳐 sab사 전에 양양 냠는 지와 차고. 되니게다 냠는 지당 가서 밀 마선 로니슈 장하다 숨지 차바나신 제베네 되니 고 냠는 지 똑비기야 갈강잠 고 지레바이네 장주 셈 파과로 차송바이네 되니 고 가르시나 류노저 차상 베시 당투 어디네 빼네 밀 마선다 지 파슈레다 추슈레다 징야다 차상 제도도와 디나신 되니 제토베 갑로 파징나 파레 슈투고 수레 슈니다 슈도와 디니 디로시레다 빼로샹아죠.
Those of you who are parents, you'll know that when you had your newborn infant, that infant needed to be taken. Great care needed to be taken of that infant, because it was an infant is so very fragile, and harm can come so easily to a being in such a fragile state. But you also know that when your infant became a toddler and then a little bit bigger, then your child could then go and play with their friends unwatched. Maybe you could chat with your child's friends' parents and not even watch them play, because now they're a little bit stronger and they are able to engage in a bit of rough and tumble, and you don't need to worry. And when they get a bit bigger than that, and they have a wish to engage in martial arts or boxing, well, as a parent you may have some concern, but you know they'll probably be okay. So you don't need to take care of them then in the same way as when they were infants. When they were infants, you had to be very careful, super vigilant, that no harm came to them. So we as beginners are like infants. Whatever good qualities we have given rise to, and we will still give rise to, we have to remember that these are impermanent. These have come about because we've created the causes, but they are susceptible to degenerating because they are impermanent. So whatever good qualities we've already achieved and those that we will still achieve, we need to guard them. We need to take great care. Eventually, in the very distant future, when we arise as Arya Bodhisattvas, then it's a different story. Then our realizations are of such power that we will not fall to the lower realms, we will not lose our bodhicitta, our good qualities will continue to grow. Then one can do things like practice like the Bodhisattva Sadhuparudita. But until then, we must take great care with our good qualities, remembering our limitations.
지게 또 계셔로 지네 슈고의 금세로 가르에서는 가시에다 최제탕을 마신지 어다지 지장주선 배냐면 저 되는 지역고서 차상야 라마를 부여다 차상 직제 전 교고 제일야는 소수기 아니 지게 교바제제 어다딩이 라마를 부 라마딩이 규차상 초송하셔야다 nga 방고 세송하셔야 되는 라마를 약하다야다 되는 지게 데벨로야 되는 영역이 냥아 여러봐다 되는 용마시바 말이야 용마시바 제가 디가르체선 소수기 냠는 제상 마신비 연전에 차송마도 인디마 현다기 라미노 주라 제체고 말봐 제가 디네 인상 소수기 냠는 제상이 신고야디 제침보래 제가 두시제 등이 다디디 두수스레세 개버로 쉬고야디 김자로 되네.
The reason that I've spent quite a bit of time explaining this is because as beginners it's important we understand this, that we know how to relate to the teachings and not to take these kinds of inspiring stories literally, not to think that this is what we're supposed to do, because there's a great danger. There's a great danger that if one as a great inspiration arises within oneself, so the strong emotion arises within ourselves, and that then may cloud our wisdom. We act under the influence of this emotion, and we practice generosity to our teacher with a great motivation of wanting to become bodhisattvas, but then we are impoverished. Our other wishes in life we cannot fulfill because now we actually have given away more than we really can afford. Then we end up with a negative mind towards our teacher. We do not follow their advice because we're critical of them. Our spiritual progression is not just impeded, but it is blocked because of this power of the negative mind. So this then is a great fault that people need to guard themselves against and be aware of. So burnout can come in this way, from trying beyond one's capacity, pushing too hard. So we need to always rely on our wisdom. So now we'll turn to the text, and where we've come to now in this context is we've generated the aspiration to meet a genuine Mahayana spiritual teacher, and not only that, but to receive teachings and train under their care. So here we come to a further verse relating to prayers to be made in this context. So this is the 9th verse, and I'll read a slightly different translation. I pray that the perfection of wisdom, profound and peaceful, free of fabrications, be always taught to me as taught to Sadhuparudita, unsullied by the muddy waters of false views. So I'll read it again. I pray that the perfection of wisdom, profound and peaceful, free of fabrications, be always taught to me as taught to Sadhuparudita, unsullied by the muddied waters of false views.
다 돈다라 동반이 사바 시대 되니게 동반이디 아니 사바세 유 동반이를 고고래 그래서 동반이 시당번 사바세 동반이 있어야지.
The first term for us now, the second line, is the word profound. So profound refers to the object of emptiness.
다 사바 동반이디 아니 대 또베기 사바 동반이디 또바이나 다 이거 돈다라 말람 자디 라마 최바기 안 다도 몰이야 동반이지 对동반이 마 사비 최 동반이 된제 아니 투제 왕게 동반이 된 동반이 된제는那么到讲是什么大东西东半年对娘们姐姐呢多把给我了哦你那现在我来呢那说那么确保给到东了什么东半年对电把那些我来呀东尼那么下的怕东尼那么下对电姐那么个电那么下的电波说啥的那的莫那么下的地人都那地人。
Here, the aspiration that's being expressed is just in the same way that there's a great teacher, Dharma Arya. He taught the correct view of reality. He taught emptiness to his student Sadhuparitita. In the same way, may my teacher teach the correct view to me, teach the presentation on emptiness to me.
这上啥是的东半年，这上东半年多别个鱼，东半年多别落地，东年多别落西吧，东年多别落空白呢，西瓦切个来说，西瓦开始呢东岸那个东岸西个来说吧，但东年多半呢，东岸刚来这个就来的鸟毛把这帮土过了吧，帮一头那东岸面把水果了吧，这上东岸也往西出过来，这上东年多别远的，东年多别落地了，远点看到有时呢，你空白呢。那么就东岸一个鱼，在我鸟毛把这些帮土过来，但是马里把帮土过来，现在帮把人呢，啊就东岸这个怕鸟儿西东岸西出过来，是西瓦是西山的来过来。那西山，
对你告诉我，对你，这西给端的，对你鸟毛帮内的你西了的。
东半夜对，啥不是东半夜过了？现在东半夜都不落地空白人呢，那原点看到有些你空白了的呢。那是东岸有个西鸟毛把当电线打起马里把地帮助过，地帮把呢，天天鸟毛可是东岸要买的，是东岸西出过来是东岸西个西山地出过来。
The reason why one is expressing this aspiration specifically to receiving teachings on emptiness is because the object is emptiness. And the mind then that understands emptiness is the mind understanding emptiness. Then eventually the wisdom that realizes emptiness is this wisdom realizing emptiness. This is the subject or the mind one wants to cultivate in relation to the object emptiness. And the reason for wanting or needing to develop the wisdom realizing emptiness is that it is this mind and this mind only that completely eliminates suffering. And how does the wisdom realizing emptiness completely eliminate suffering? Because it eliminates the afflicted minds such as anger and attachments and pride and jealousy that cause suffering. And how does the wisdom realizing emptiness eliminate each and every single afflicted mind? It's because this is the direct antidote to the root cause of all the afflicted minds. The ignorance of self-grasping. So this is why the word profound is the first word in this verse, and it is so important. When one realizes emptiness, this means that this wisdom realizing emptiness eliminates the cause of all suffering, and this results in one no longer experiencing suffering, but abiding in peace. And that is the second word here, peaceful.
那他今天最当这了些多，最当这了些了，最当这是这些的，俺这个他与让心主要准备多吧，那准备个这吧是有这吧了，那他的今天这吧了，那今天那么多吧了，那么多张嘛，这吧是不过的，他在隔壁这些地方的地形是不是那么多张嘛的，地那呢那么多那做，他这个让心主要准备，电报主要准备电信这吧，实际上。 Denzin Juba Denzin Digi Juba Denzin Ledu, Della Tene, and the Namdota, Mara Nyomo, Controta, the name Namdota, Maleo, Juba. Just not don't you to be shared to come, don't you torche, don't you to be shared to Combaina, don't you also torch Hawanza, don't want you to be Ranching Juba, Temple Juba Timbe, Denzin di Loche in Bahago. Just not don't you to borrow the Kazi, Shuksha Combina, the Nig Juba, Denzin di Nuba Chun to water. They never chung road, Namto, and Loche, Tamara, Leadige, should chung to watch. No mind to be share of Combala Tene, Denzin, Juba Denzin Basha, the Sabona, Pont to water, Pon, and Dele, typical Juba, Namto, and the Tetum down, Loche down, and the Dasha Corner Las of Chasa, and the Mavas to water. Yes, Chesa, Juba Yawa Shiva, Juba and Java, so Juba and Javas. Then try to go as well.
Then Shine Karipangire, the Nyomongi Bakchak, there some.
And Nyomong is 7.
Nyomong is 7. Nyomong is 7. Then it goes.
Basha, little Basha, Sanjugo, Basha,
7. Profound and peaceful, free of fabrications, or free of, what did we have here? Free of, unbound by identification. So what is meant by fabrications or identification? So the meaning of fabrications is these are minds that in general we would say is over-conceptualizing. So over-conceptualizing. And then amongst all of these over-conceptualizations, then here fabrications would mean in particular the minds of either, you can call it true grasping or self-grasping, the same mind. So it refers to, in particular, the mind of self-grasping. So profound and emptiness, free of self-grasping. So that is the meaning here of fabrications. And how then does the wisdom realizing emptiness then, which is what realizes the profound, which is what realizes emptiness, lead to this peaceful state that is free of fabrications? It's because the wisdom realizing emptiness is completely contrary to the ignorance of true grasping or the ignorance of self-grasping. These are opposite minds. They cannot exist together. So as one meditates more and more on reality, coming to develop the understanding of reality more and more, one's wisdom realizing emptiness grows ever stronger. And as this grows ever stronger, proportionately, the ignorance of self-grasping weakens. So imagine this like a scale. As the wisdom increases, the ignorance proportionately weakens. And this then means, as our ignorance of self-grasping weakens, everything that results from it weakens. Which means, as our ignorance weakens, the resulting afflicted minds weaken, the resulting suffering weakens. Eventually, when our wisdom realizing emptiness is powerful enough, it will eradicate the ignorance of self-grasping and eradicate all the afflicted minds together with their seeds. And this is how the state of peace is attained.
다 동방이 또 베셔로 공부하나 아니 동안여와 시와 차상 동아 차상 매바 동여와 시와 제투고도 지금 동방이 또 베셔로 공부하나 동아 영의 그 규조 아니 남도 지난에 잔도 덴진 마리바 세븐 바샤의 제바 바 방투구두스 데네 인자 아니 디동이 또 별연된 동이 또 비게 로텔에 연된 데니스도 지금 데니게 동이 또 별로 제와라 동이도 하고 그러와 지금 데니게 동방이디 동반이디 바네 지게 말이야 지게 베네 라마 쳐바기 아니 다동물이야 안 동반이디 안 라마 장주서 마 다동위디 동이디 된 도제 냠내 제바 나신 제가라이네 라미기 데니기 동이기 삽시 쥐바단 제비가 시현시도 동반이 수대 대벌쇼서야다 대한이버들라 로도 지미취 말레바 지들 다동을 녀바다스 로다 로도 지메취 말레바 지들 다동을 녀바다스도 제가 난 가서는 되게 동반이데 땡어도 that's Gabriela Sosugi Loto, Hamoache, Namdo, Lodogi, Lobatani, and Loto Kies, Tony Tomato Yungruwa.
Denikonda, Loktok, Yerken Sure, Gen Yamane Getruk. Getruk.
That was your words. I make Tony Tempe in the Loto Kies, on the Namdo, Loto Kid, or the Temple to other Temple to the Chasame Drosser Assembly, Loto Kies, and the Tony Lechebachi, Yamnichi Marwa, I made Tony Tempe in there. Also, like a Loto Kies cigarettes, and I made Chet Hamja Rashi, you do your Maritas, soon or do. Chethamja Rashi to a minute, Meva Charugua. Did it Tata Remedy? Meva Mara Yorova, some Loto Kies, let me Chetam Rashi Maruba Timbadi, Tata Remindu Sebig, Sosolia Loto, Denikies, Tony Tomato Yungres, Chisan Denigi, Loto Tiki, Makiwa Sosocula, Denig Loto, Makiwa Show, Saji, Monam Jegorwa, Makiwa Che, and let me Timba Nashi, Yahago to Show Saji, Sigore. The Loto said, "Go shake horror to Jackson."
So it's just a lot. I need to remind myself where we started. So what we've been hearing now is that the wisdom realizing emptiness, this is the mind that is completely contrary to the ignorance of self-grasping. These two are completely opposite. And it's from this ignorance of self-grasping that all our suffering comes. So when the ignorance of self-grasping is eliminated, no suffering. That's when we abide in peace. And the way to eliminate this ignorance of self-grasping is to cultivate the completely opposing mind, the wisdom realizing emptiness. And when this is realized, then our cause of suffering is eliminated, all forms of over-conceptualizations or fabrications are eliminated, in particular, this ignorance of self-grasping. So this is the benefit of developing the wisdom realizing emptiness. And understanding this, then the wish to cultivate it naturally arises. And thereby the wish to rely on a teacher who's able to unmistakably guide one in the cultivation of this mind arises within oneself. And here we see the expression of the wish to train like Sadhuparita, who relied on a teacher like Dharma Arya, who was able to guide him in giving rise to the antidote to all suffering. Then furthermore, which for us then is in the last line, unsullied by the muddy waters of false views. Here a second aspiration is expressed, and this is in relation to oneself. Because even if one has come to rely on a teacher, one has met and has identified a teacher as being an authentic Mahayana teacher, a teacher who is able to lead one in the cultivation of the complete path, including the cultivation or the development of the wisdom realizing emptiness. But if one is overcome by wrong views and over-conceptualizations, or false views and over-conceptualizations, these afflicted minds, then despite receiving correct meditation advice, one will be unable to meditate on emptiness. One's view on one's belief in true existence will be so strong that one will not accept these teachings. One will see them as mistaken. Hence, one's wrong views or false views will serve as a severe impediment to be able to fulfill or follow our teacher's advice, despite our teacher being unmistaken in the advice or the teachings that are being given.
Geshe Thubten Rabten Lama Tongyi Ting Tempa Na Xin Ji Horong Lia Nam Do Lo Do Ma Jie Wa Che De Lo She Ma Jie Wa Che Lama Tempa Na Xin Ji Nyam Len Che Ne Ko Ye Ne Geshe Thubten Tongyi Do Song Wa De Tongyi Do Ba Wa Di Na Xin Ji Nga Lia Lama Gi Da Sambo Tong Ba Ni Nga Ju Gi Ting Ho Du Ane Ting Pi Ting Yo De Ka La Nga Gu La Nam Do Lo Do Ma Jie Wa Che Lama Tempa Na Xin Ji Tong Ba Ni De Duen Di Ji Da Da Dong Yu Do Ba Na Xin He Yang Denegi Do Tuber Sho Saje Molam Jade Denegi and Tombani Dedar and Tombani Lame Dien Sosulia Dien Dia Lenji Maimba Charging Maimba 뒤 다도 그디네 내 몽보 살 몽보 하는 거야 돈이기 남샤지 봐 남편 송을 쇼서야지 어디서 될라 대달 달라 다도 돈벌 쇼서야지 뒤에 살직 송제 샤샤베는 어디야 대달 달라 다도 돈벌 쇼 타마들어 살직 송제 샤샤베는 내가 저기 살직을 하고 마tum나 되네 아지 송은면에 하고 동 말와 제가 살직 송마 많이 봐 대야 살 몽보 아니 다도 세야다 근데 이게 잘 못 송제네 뒤 다도 당한테 태바치를 매일 치 송도 동반이다 아니 저게 동반이 거를 말 송제 그디네 알 치송을 매도 송을 쇼세지 가르세네 동반이도 별로디 공반이 당한테 동안이와 시와당 아니 동안이 규 아니 다셈 사본나 제바 바샤다 제바 방비 방바 산조고 방 토벌집에 다 바시조 디가스는 간지 녀마바다 다셈 된진다 된지 바샤티기로 와사이고 봐도 니 봐도 매버 쇠 동이도 비셔라로 와 지산 니 지산 니 다도 동버쇼 세디 말람제 디리다.
So I'll read the verse again. I pray that the perfection of wisdom, profound and peaceful, free of fabrications, be always taught to me as taught to Sadhuparudita, unsullied by the muddy waters of false views. So this final line, unsullied by the muddy waters of false views, then this applies to ourselves, that when we meet a fully qualified Mahayana spiritual friend, and we're relying on them, may we rely on them just like the Bodhisattva always crying, and receive teachings on the correct view, on emptiness. And whilst receiving these teachings, whilst relying on our teacher, may we not be overcome by false views. May we in fact, eliminate our false views. And then moreover, and I'll read then past the third line, be always taught to me as taught to Sadhuparudita. So this term here, be always taught, this is also important. Because through hearing some teachings on emptiness, we will not gain a correct understanding. One needs to receive teachings on emptiness repeatedly, and one needs to reflect on them repeatedly in order to be able to overcome our misunderstandings, our deeply held misunderstandings about reality. So here the aspiration that is first being generated is understanding that it's only through realizing emptiness that one destroys the root of all suffering, this ignorance of self-grasping, and thereby prevents one from falling to the lower realms, and in fact enables one to attain the peace of nirvana, to be liberated from suffering in its entirety. One gives rise to the wish to rely on our teacher, receiving teachings just like Sadhuparudita did, unobscured by wrong views, and receiving teachings not just once, not just sporadically, but repeatedly over a sustained period, because that is what is required to come to a correct and unmistaken understanding. And furthermore, we need to rely on a teacher who is not false and not be surrounded by friends who are misleading.
Temba Matua said, Yomare, Temba Drup de Yores and the Shene Kava, she would get our Resagi, then the Kava, Koketa Res and Mitigi, shed, Chevan, Dananzuya, the nation, and at the San Jim, the Temba Matua Sadi, Tony said, the Insamare Samje, and the Shaman to go to court, Shaman to Ada. Antiga, Sosugi, drop on them, the Nigia, go when you would at the dinner, the Joe Mares, and the Shasho said, the Kalakara, Tapachimi, and Tony said, how would you amar, delay the Kiwushi, Shasho said, the nation, the Kalanyanche, want to drag in Yangayorova, the names are the name Madua Shaw, said the Molam Jadi, Givishin, Migi, and the Migi, Sanji, combat dele Loso, combat the Mutim Pigi. That she can give you on to Madroa down. 되네 미게비게 조배 와도 마저와 쇼스 말람 자야지 디샤고와
The situation we found ourselves in as beginners is that we are very easily susceptible to influence from others, especially others who are charismatic and who have a great reputation. So it's very easy for us to be deceived. So, for example, from the teachings we've heard, we have some understanding that to cultivate the minds of the Buddha Dharma, this takes a long time because we're talking about lifetimes. And so hearing this, we are susceptible to someone who's charismatic and has a great reputation in the world, who says to us, well, the Buddha Dharma maybe is okay, but it takes a long time. The technique that I present, this is very fast. No need to go from lifetime to lifetime. Following my technique, a state of lasting happiness is possible. And moreover, this presentation on emptiness in the Buddha Dharma, this is nonsense. It is clearly mistaken. So we are at risk of easily being influenced by false teachers. And moreover, amongst our friends, there'll be those who think that the way we choose to spend our time coming here, hearing these teachings, trying to meditate, what a waste of time. There are far more exciting things to do in this world. These views, they are a little bit silly. What you're trying to do, this is really not a good use of your life. So friends can discourage us in this way. So here a prayer is expressed that may we never be deceived by such false teachers and misleading friends.
That's it. To be gongbe dunle chishobe, tashe tawar temper chebabo, migi singing dibi dronam, you want to namyanjoa, my yursi, malam diawara.
This prayer is expressed in the 10th verse. May I never fall under the sway of false teachers and misleading friends, their flawed views of existence and non-existence, well outside the Buddha's intent.
To be gongbe dunle chishobe, tashe tawar temper chebabo, said Singidi. To be gongba, two bars of Sanye Jumlendi, gongba the Kare Lamna, Sanye Jumlendi, gongba the Simjan Tam, Jesanje Salagoya did it. Simjan Tam Jesanje Salagoya do, Simjan Tam Jesanje Salagoya la, Barshe Garesene, Nyomoba, Dian, Nyomoba Junsegi, Dinzi Marik Pati, Pare. Chesan Dinzi Marik Pati Pawala, Tombani Tienche, Tony Namsha Gomche, and the Dinzi Marik Pangor deep. Men Magomna, Pantoy Mevare. Mevasa, Sanje Jumlin, the Simjan Tamja Dunda, Sanje Jumlin, the Chuson, the Chasa, Simjan Tamja Sanje Goban Toya Dundala. The Simjan Sanje Goban Tovala, Yamlin Chogoadi, Janju Semda, and Delia, don't you to be shared, don't you to be shared, Yamlin Chogoadi. Dicombaletine, and Yomo Pango, the Jibapangoadi, Sanje Jumlin, the Yugomba, that don't I think the Tirwa. Chesa, Dini Gomba Dile, Chirchoba, La du. Sanje Jumlen de Garson Che Tam Je Yudan Jen Kala Mato Rang when you drew the Yomare, said Sanje Jumlen de Gombarwa. She's not Yudan Jen Kala Rang when you drew the Yovaina, the Temple Juba said Chagre. The Yovare, some big Temple Juba, some Timbati, Nato, Horju, you, Yomoba, Kaletek and Gut or Dires. She's not Dibango, she's not Che Tam Je Kala Rang when you drew the Yomare, Rang when you drew the Tombare, said, Di Tombadi. Di Gomgure said, Sanje Jumne Gomba Tatu di Gomba Dirwa. Gisna Gomba, Gombe. Gisna di Dun dele Chirchovala do, or that Chetam Jirashin Dubare, Chirchopet, Dachela do, Data Cheda. Said Chetam Jirashim Dubare said, Chetam Jirashin Dubdi or da, said she henji, Dungan Lama Chichi, Dungan Lam, that she henji. Then Chetam Jeda, Cheta loved. Chugaya, Yomare Sada, you lay into Yomare Sada. Dinigi, Chetam Rashi, Maruna Chasa, Medugre said, Mameva said, Shakendi, Shena, and Di Shedi, Sanju Gombale, Loso, Kachadu, Chetam Dan Rashi, Dubare, Shebene, Sanju Gombadan, Tungo Marwa, Sanju Gombon in the Marwa, Tele Chichova Segura. Chetam Jeda, Rashi, Marupna, Chetan, Meva Chare, said Chedare, Shebena. Dia Sanju Gombale Chirshoba Chadu. Jason Denigi doing him, Chetamji Rashi, Jubare, said Dingana. Chetamji Rashi, Madun, Chetamji, Meba Chadu, Denigi doing him, give Shin de Ruchi to Yovaina, and then to give D want to Sonvaina. Jason Chetan Rashi Jubare, and some of the shoe share to Rashi to be Don in the door to Yomara, Tomadona, Sanjo Gobato to America. Dinaji, Chetamji Rashi, Maduna, Meba Chowder, Chedare, says some Tavan, she's not Chetamji, Meba to Chita, Dini some Tavan, don't you to be, Diniga somebody, shoot chase your Dovena, Diniga, and don't you to Yomare. Don't you to Maduna, and the Sanjo Gobato.
The Tamani,
Chetamji Rashi, Madubana, Meba Chowder, Tawak in Meba Chowder, Lake in the Meba Chagre, and the Chazan Meba Chagri loved Dinigal, Duncan Lama Digi, Jesu Java in the Chetamji Rashi, Maduna, Meba Chadu, some Shuchim child, didn't Chetamji Rashi, Dubares, and some Chili Gorova. And the nigger some time, Lama di Jesu Jajang, the deal some time, just want to solve to get Rashi and Juba Timber, somebody, pay shoot church or chagres. Just not the nation Chimpuchawan, Rashi, Majuba setting at the door to your mothers, don't you do 2 mothers, don't you do mother, Goyamera. Digomena, San Yukovan to 2 mothers, or the Ninza, San Yukovan Tobala, the Nigi, Rashi, Juba, Sungata, the Nig Tower Timbic, Lamegi, and Lamagi chips one to Marjorie or Sergi, all those cinnamon and Jagores.
Can I teach it?
That's it, our temper.
Takes a low pimpe.
Mila, to be a compared to the Chirchobe, that's it, our temper. Jebabo said this one. That's it, our temper. Chedda, Dr. Dinkin, so long.
I don't remember if I've read the verse or not, so I'll read it again. May I never fall under the sway of false teachers and misleading friends, their flawed views of existence and non-existence, well outside the Buddha's intent. So what is meant here by then the intent of Buddha Shakyamuni? So the intent or the intention of Buddha Shakyamuni is to lead all sentient beings to enlightenment, to free them all completely of suffering. And what is the main obstacle to being able to actualize this wish? That is that sentient beings are dominated by afflicted minds, and at the root of all these afflicted minds is the ignorance of self-grasping. So this is what is preventing the Buddha's intent from being achieved, the afflictions that are dominating the minds of sentient beings. And the only way to eliminate the afflictive minds completely is to destroy their root, and the only way to destroy the root is for each and every sentient being to cultivate the wisdom realizing emptiness, the wisdom that realizes that everything that exists completely lacks inherent existence. There's nothing at all that is even slightly inherently existent. So therefore, the only way that the Buddha's intent can be achieved is for sentient beings to cultivate the wisdom realizing emptiness, and for that wisdom realizing emptiness to be powerful enough to not only lead to liberation from suffering, but to go beyond that to achieve full and complete enlightenment. Sentient beings themselves also need to cultivate the mind of bodhicitta. So when we look at the practices of the Buddha Dharma, they can be summarized in bodhicitta and the wisdom realizing emptiness, because it's these two streams of practice that lead to the fulfillment of the Buddha's intent and each individual sentient being attaining enlightenment. So therefore each being, the intent of the Buddha is for each being to cultivate bodhicitta and the wisdom realizing emptiness, and cultivate both of these to the point of perfection. And that is the point when each being arises as a Buddha themselves, and then can help others in the same way that Buddha Shakyamuni helps. So false teachers and misleading friends, their teachings are well outside the Buddha's intent, because their flawed views propound existence and non-existence, or to express these two terms, existence and non-existence, differently, they propound terms of either or, the extreme of eternalism or the extreme of nihilism. So existence here refers to the extreme of existence or the extreme of eternalism, and the extreme of non-existence refers to the extreme of non-existence or the extreme of nihilism. So here, what Buddha taught is that no phenomena exists by way of its own self-existence. If it did, that would be the extreme of existence. Because the extreme of existence, according to the Buddha, is believing that phenomena are self-existent. And there are many teachers, false teachers, who do teach that phenomena exist inherently by their own nature, self-existent. So such a view is an extreme view, and it's taught by false teachers. Similarly, the Buddha taught that it's not that phenomena don't exist at all. It's not that phenomena don't exist at all, but rather they don't exist by way of their own self-nature. There are teachers, though, who do say that phenomena don't exist at all. For example, those who present wrong views, such as cause and effect doesn't exist. Doesn't exist. So this is an illustration of the extreme of non-existence or nihilism. Buddhas and bodhisattvas don't exist. Liberation doesn't exist. So this is an illustration of the extreme of nihilism or extreme of non-existence. Furthermore, so these views we can hear are very far from the Buddha's intent. Furthermore, through the false teachers and misleading friends, or the views of the false teachers, when they teach that phenomena exist by way of their own nature, they are self-existent, they will also teach that for something to exist, it must exist by way of its own nature, otherwise it doesn't exist at all. So therefore everything that exists has to be inherently existent or self-existent, which means causes must be self-existent because a cause exists. So therefore they would say a cause has to exist by way of its own nature. And if a result exists, then a result must also exist by way of its own nature. Must be self-existent, must be inherently existent. Otherwise it doesn't exist at all. So in this way, these teachers, through propounding self-existence, not only strengthen the view of self-existence, of eternalism, they also lead to this strengthening of the view of nihilism or non-existence, because they say phenomena have to be, if they exist, have to be self-existent, otherwise they are non-existent. So therefore they end up propounding both extremes. So here the prayer that is being expressed in the 10th verse is that may we never come under the influence of such false teachers and misleading friends.
Dene mige shinyen dibi dronam jis. Mige we shinyen. Da dene ge shinyen da mige drobo. Da dene ge chagro da karsne le kunde yo mare jida sangye sia da dene ge se yo mare le kunde se yo mare ko se da dene ge ane je ke dongmani yo mare se da dene komna kale kharo re se da dene ge tünge da ni ge we shinyen yongsi ro yonggo ro ba da dene 치료 양배 받는 얘기도요 말세하다. 되니기 최담시 라신 줍도요 그래서하다. 되니기 안에 되니기 기회 미개와 미개에 산지 공부할래 로소 안에 얘기도요 말세하다. 개와 아마 같이 세야도요 말세하다. 안 되니기 때문에 기회 신인 되니기 원도 마주하다. 되니야 되지기 다 돼서 되니기 되는 되게 디비 쪽으로 디쪽으로 책으로 와대 디비 쪽으로 쓰는 거서 디쪽 세야디 나 저기 개와 치마 나송도 조야기 유로시 사겐기 로치긴 데니기 토네 안에 튕지체겐들 디조사 차그로 와다 당나줄이야 니 디기 주비야기 개위 주비야기 ya roching delia, and then churros, a chuggy drop was right, digby drop or the chuggy drop was it. Give in Yam Geza ya, Pewa chicken, saying rochiguna, and then give you my name, main there, this other teaching. Chimpian Yamnachina Yabo, Surum Suna Yabo, and the Chigi Rale Pandora, Shale Pandora, Dinigi, the Kishi, Dropo Naza, Tony Dinshine, and so Yamnaja Pando in the dinner, Churro Chagua. So I you do your mother, dinner, Chisim Jen, Sena, Gayama, Gazi Suage, Tsongkhapa, Capsare, Zaza, and dinner, lay you do your mother, as I go on top, say your mother said the dinner is Shabana, and this one, DP draw, the draws a Chagua. The Nigi give you Denkangi. And the DP trouble, and the give it Dennis want to Madua show, said the Monam Jay, down to the Nigga Tambo Kin, and you want to Church and give it Yawa Martin Yella, Denisi, Teche, or that the chair was in Bashan, Detroit and Yangayor, Denis and Denis and Gemma, and Denim my own show, said Monam Jay. Migi Shin DP Dronomy, want to Namia draw my age, just a Namia Madras, Gidi name. And then Madras said, that's the Namia Madras, Sarachix on the Georgian, Jelia on the Madonna degree was said, didn't mean by chair. Namia, Sarachix 10, you on the drum, then he get Matera show, then he want to Madras said, Madam Garage.
May I never fall under the sway of false teachers and misleading friends. So, false teachers refer to those who teach views which are contrary or well outside the Buddha's intent. So they teach, for example, that there's no such thing as cause and effect. Karma, this is nonsense. The state of Buddhahood, this doesn't exist. The view of emptiness, this is mistaken. Phenomena are not empty of inherent existence. Phenomena exist. And or others may say, oh, meditation, what a waste of time, what a waste of your life. So all these things expressed here, these are views that exist in the world and don't only exist, but they're common in this world. Many people don't believe in karma. Many people don't accept that the Buddha or Buddhahood. And certainly the vast majority of people don't accept the view of emptiness. And many people don't know about meditation or reject meditation. So these are views that exist in the world, views that are propagated by false teachers. The danger here that one is generating an aspiration to never fall under their influence the danger is because as a beginner, if one comes under their influence, then one will not accept cause and effect, one will not accept reincarnation, and this leads to the likelihood that one will engage in far more non-virtue than one would have, if not a tremendous amount of wrong virtue, through accepting other harmful views. So this would be a dire situation to find oneself in. So that's the meaning of a false teacher. Then a misleading friend, or to translate it literally, a non-virtuous friend. So a non-virtuous friend is someone who leads one in the direction of non-virtue. So if we know about friends who encourage us to engage in activities that don't lead to the accumulation of causes that lead to happiness. So the opposite of a non-virtuous friend is a Dharma friend. And what makes someone a Dharma friend is they are someone who encourages us to engage in virtue. A non-virtuous friend encourages us to engage in non-virtuous activities. A Dharma friend is someone who encourages us to engage in virtue, to practice generosity, to refrain from actions that bring harm. So here the prayer that is being expressed in this 10th verse is, may I never, never, ever come under the sway of these false teachers or misleading friends. Especially now when I'm a beginner and I'm susceptible to those who are charismatic, those who have a great reputation. Especially now when my minds of virtue are weak and I can be easily influenced in non-virtuous ways. May I never come under the influence of false teachers and misleading friends.
这个给微信当然最成绩的点把切把说些的，这个什么当节毛南家当，的那个当毛南家呢，当给微信成绩的点把是切的搞不了，那给微信的点把的这个绿党王局，加上那这贴不进别些当些给微信的点当点推给微信也把切当，贴不进别去你们切了，加上别些当些，这个别些当些你们接触说些的毛南家当。所以，什么拿来一年，给第一年，你贴吧这边给微信呢，贴那个你们接对个贴吧这边给微信呢，贴些你们接对个不来，说给讲，要不的呀，拉马铺呀，光桥了铺呀，当现在这东啊西呀，短大了呀铺呀，绕街呀当，那些去给短大让去你们街了，必须隔天头呢必须当土呀当，现但说是个主播去年们接下来工作了碰到去年们接下来必须当土的绿党龙这干的现在点跳了必须当土本小什么什么那么简单别当土本基因呐什么什么那样的样都的什么大呀当的那个这个给微信人的那个这去萝卜店看当这个样贴不清比去年们接文章上有个吧头发东西你们这贴不清去你们接过了的那人家的那个贴吧前面去，当然定个满眼把点不主把点比个，让心主把点比给微信的给他妈贴吧学些的，去主把了把些的地比着，的那个的个，他妈贴吧学，的所以往都马着学，给谁贴吧人呢？看最的结果了，的所以往都马着去，说让，贴吧前面去，你们接了呀，别去当土吧学，谁的莫那么家呀的，就像当然什么哪里呢？的那起因的那个。他学他们这让心毛主把的，可是让心主把的那个钱呢，你看了人家没打什么的，那学他们就连军队要买的，地瓜切过来啥的，就抓不的的，他们呢，的所以看了人家没打的，现在这个买的什么别个，说让那什么的，样来样都的过来什么大的嘞，就像的那个什么大的嘞，当然就的那个6%的了哇，就像的那人家的那什么大的，就公我的了，在为当然就。当卡上许巴那些啊，这公路的了，卡着国是当波的，他考完的了，这个都就像考完了嘛，他民多，就像考完了他呢，他把这么这个么子让些，甚至他们这东了这个，这就甚至他们这个都上有个包头发去，人生别个上楼顶上这个公路卡上许巴那有公路第三大，公路怎么第三大呢？当然甚至他上有个包头发了，啊，就贴吧前面去点个。那么给微信头部，就是人家给微信人的，也会是好说什么那么讲。人家给微信人的那个图案对，那个给微信电影对，这个绿党龙角车上就缺少多呢。那么你把这个必须当街，你们去图片说什么那么讲的，人家基因什么这样的样都什么大的。人家给人缺结巴了把些的，你没给微信人的，人家地皮着往都那么样马着啊去，那这个。给予巧当，那个招标往头送去，你没给我的，你给那个点把东把你的啰嗦跟东把你的多巧，那点把主把点别个来马路土位呢，这时候往头马上往小才去，往头去呢，毛那么家的嘞，人个样这个，那毛那么家的，那个毛那么家人咋的？那个说是什么当去，什么单位呢？什么单都是你们去呢？你那什么单？那当年那个他们的两这，那个什么单位给我入啥去了？那给我的给样这个，甚至他们这地基主要的，甚至他们这怎么领了呀？年末出去跟那车上洗钱，甚至他们这的给了讲究什么的电报学什么人家的，甚至他们这那讲究什么你们这上九个包头包学啥的，甚至他们这个农业这头有给我学什么人家的，这的那个说是什么大，给谁的？他没得了，说是个什么的，你家起码大毛头为呢？当然就毛那么能给那准备把我些对不对？就是真是什么工作上面毛那么干的大把人的，商业的给毛那么干的大把，地那些你给我说的，车上地那些我说我说些吧呢，他们多了啥呢？你查过我，你那个，俺那毛那么家伙的事情，当然就。的人给洛杉矶卡上洛杉矶的，但他都什么当他都是这些多都是什么大的，啊。的呢，商业学的啊，就给他的人得给新人贴吧学些的，那给新人对呢，去年的要不去贴吧学什么那么家的话，他商业呢，当然就给贴吧去给新人这里啊，贴什么什么阶段个不啦， 대성고는 집에 군원디야 랑등이 치도 많이 봐지 현sem제 탐지게 된다 인신 현주의 삼바 아니 빼면서 야호디 기투버 쇼세도 말함자기 디고 쉬어야 되다 상이네
그네 디고선 되니까 그나 뭐는 치 단도 된성디 점포 파워 지다
캠바다 제유sem보 군도 상보고 말람 야바나 신지 아니 용화 쇼세도 되다 이게 와서 봐서 제주심바다 상계디 말람 간에 잡아나지 게 말람 디나지 나가라 아니다 해야지 주의라이다
So we're coming to the end of our class now, so let's summarize what we've been looking at. So here in these verses we're making these aspirational prayers to not only meet a spiritual, fully qualified spiritual friend, but to rely on them, and to rely on them with complete commitment. And we do so through generating a vast and expansive mind, a mind that is enthused with bodhicitta, enthused with this wish to bring about the greatest of benefit to all sentient beings. And it's through this generation of this intention that we commit to using whatever remains of this life, whatever physical skills our body, as well as our speech, all to be of greatest benefit to others. And this then we will express in how we relate to our teacher as well. We will use whatever material resources we have in abundance to make offerings to our teachers, the 3 jewels, to those in need. And these offerings would be made with a mind of generosity, a mind wanting to benefit others, wanting to help others. Moreover, we'd use our speech with that same motivation. We'd use our speech to encourage others in virtue, and we would use our speech to discourage others from engaging in non-virtue. And we do so with wisdom. Those that we have influence over, those that we have the appropriate relationship with, those are the ones that we encourage in virtue and discourage from non-virtue. And those that we don't have such a relationship with, we slowly establish such a relationship so that, guided by this bodhicitta motivation, we benefit them. We train ourselves in this aspiration again and again. And knowing that the minds that we have to develop, so the primary teachings that we need to receive from our teacher, and the guidance, the spiritual instructions we need to develop, are primarily those relating to cultivating the wisdom realizing emptiness, as well as the practices to develop and strengthen bodhicitta. And furthermore, we make the aspiration that in no life may we ever come under the influence of false teachers and misleading friends, those who encourage us in non-virtue, those who propound extreme views of eternalism and nihilism. May we never come under the influence of those whose encouragement to us leads us to strengthen our afflicted minds. And furthermore, may I never be such a friend to others. Then we incorporate, so that's what we've looked at today, and then we incorporate this into our meditation in the following way. So yesterday we looked at the meditation in some detail, and that started out first by generating a joyous, powerful mind through refuge and reflecting on this precious opportunity we have. Thereafter we looked at the faults of cyclic existence and the causes for the suffering in samsara, coming to see that samsara has no essence, seeing the causes, generating the wish to be liberated, to abandon suffering completely. And then thirdly, expanding that, so knowing that others are suffering just like us, we then use this as the basis to give rise to bodhicitta. So that we looked at in some detail yesterday. And in order to take this mere aspiration and to develop it to the point where actual bodhicitta arises within us, bodhicitta that is spontaneous and uncontrived, as well as where our wisdom becomes profound, we need to rely on a fully qualified Mahayana teacher. And when we meet such a teacher, we need to recognize them as such and rely on them wholeheartedly. And as we've heard in these verses, relying on a teacher wholeheartedly means dedicating what remains of this life and our resources to being of benefit to others. And then relying on such a teacher, receive a vast array of teachings, not just now and again, but again and again, primarily on cultivating the wisdom realizing emptiness and the mind of bodhicitta. So having meditated in this way, so we just looked at it briefly now, yesterday we had the meditation in more detail, then the one extra point that I want to add is that when we've completed a meditation, we've of course accumulated a lot of virtue, a lot of merit. So this merit then, we dedicate in accordance with these minds that we've been cultivating, these minds of bodhicitta, the minds of emptiness. And here we dedicate the merit, may all beings, without exception in this and all worlds, may they attain the state of freedom from suffering. And moreover, may they cultivate the mind of bodhicitta, and leading themselves to the state of enlightenment. And may I do this. And to aid us in this motivation, or to strengthen us, then there's a prayer that we will recite in a few minutes. And this is the prayer, I'll read it in English. Just as the brave Manjushri and Samantabhadra too realize things as they are, also I dedicate all these merits in this way, that I may follow their perfect example. And the meaning behind this is, may I practice just like all those who have attained enlightenment and all those who are in the process of attaining enlightenment through having cultivated the paths of the bodhisattva within them. May my prayers lead to the fulfillment of all those holy aspirations. So this is how always to dedicate, and how we'll come to dedicate in a moment. Then tomorrow we'll continue in the text with the next verse, which is looking at once one is relying on a teacher, then one engages in hearing teachings, reflecting on those teachings, meditating on those teachings, and how to do so with the best of motivations. So that is where we will continue tomorrow. So thank you. We'll conclude here then. But if you have questions, then please do ask. Okay. Then thank you very much.